Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the hidden fortunes tucked away in your everyday pocket change. Today, we are hunting for the rare and high-value versions of the 2001 D North Carolina quarter that most people overlook. Get ready to discover if you're holding a strike worth thousands of dollars in this ultimate collector's guide. The 2007 P Idaho State quarter stands as a rugged testament to the Wild West, captured forever on a small circle of copper-nickel-clad copper. Released as the 43rd coin in the ambitious United States Mint State Quarters program, the Idaho design honors the state's 1890 admission into the Union with a striking depiction of a peregrine falcon. This majestic bird of prey, once an endangered species that found a stronghold in the Idaho wilderness, soars across the reverse of the coin, set against a backdrop of the state's distinctive geographical outline. The design was chosen by Governor Dirk Kempthorne after a statewide competition, intended to symbolize Idaho's soaring potential and its commitment to preserving the natural splendor of the Rocky Mountains. When you hold a crisp, uncirculated specimen, the luster should dance across the falcon's wings, highlighting the intricate feather detail that was meticulously engraved to ensure every strike from the Philadelphia Mint carried the weight of Idaho's pride. The minting context of 2007 was a period of high-speed production, where the Philadelphia Mint pumped out millions of these quarters to meet the demands of a nation still captivated by the quest to collect every state. However, the sheer volume of production often leads to the very anomalies that drive the modern numismatic market into a frenzy. Collectors look for pieces that escape the bins without the typical bag marks, or scratches that plague coins destined for the local grocery store or vending machine. A P mint mark denotes its origin in the city of brotherly love, but only a tiny fraction of these coins possess the strike quality and surface preservation required to achieve the highest grades. The visual appearance of a top-tier Idaho quarter is breathtaking, featuring a satin-like finish where the fields are smooth and the falcon appears almost three-dimensional, as if it might fly right off the metal. Deep within the microscopic world of the Idaho quarter, errors can manifest that turn a simple 25-cent piece into a high-stakes treasure hunt. Enthusiasts must develop a keen eye for doubled die varieties, where the hubbing process creates a secondary image on the falcon's talons or within the lettering of the gem state motto. One must also be vigilant for planchet errors, where the coin might have been struck on an experimental alloy or a blank intended for a different denomination, resulting in a weight difference or a strange, off-color hue. The strike alignment is equally critical. An off-center strike that cuts into the rim can drastically increase the rarity, as these clipped, or misaligned, pieces are supposed to be caught by quality control long before they reach your pocket. Understanding the shape of the rim and the depth of the reed edges can reveal whether a coin was subjected to unusual pressure during the striking process, potentially creating a one-of-a-kind specimen. Imagine the sudden rush of adrenaline as you realize the coin in your hand doesn't feel quite right. Perhaps it's slightly heavier, or the luster has an eerie, golden glow. In the world of high-end coin trading, minor variations or subtle die cracks can ignite bidding wars, sometimes reaching illustrative values of $2,500 to $7,500 as collectors fight to complete specialized sets. More notable examples, perhaps featuring a visible, spitting falcon, die gouge or significant doubling on the date, have been known to climb toward $9,000. These aren't just pieces of metal anymore, they are tickets to a different life. A high-grade Idaho quarter, graded by a professional service at MS 68 or higher, represents the pinnacle of preservation, carrying a potential market outcome of $10,000 for those who demand nothing but absolute perfection. The storytelling ladder of coin valuation continues to rise as we move into the realm of the truly bizarre. An unusual mint anomaly, such as a mule error where the Idaho reverse is paired with the wrong obverse die, could theoretically command an illustrative $25,000, representing a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. For rare collector pieces that bridge the gap between history and art, a price tag of $12,000 is not uncommon in private auctions. Exceptional preservation or uncommon, proof-like, surfaces on a circulation strike can push the needle further to $15,000. Each of these jumps represents an emotional windfall, the kind of money that could serve as a significant down payment on a new home or clear away years of nagging debt, all stemming from a moment of careful observation in a checkout line. At the very peak of the numismatic mountain, we find the white whales of the Idaho series. Unusual finds that capture the collective imagination of the elite collecting community. Perhaps a coin struck on a stray silver planchet left over from a proof set could see strong demand driving prices to $65,000. In the most extraordinary circumstances, a historically significant example with a pedigree and a flawless strike could reach as high as $80,000. While these figures are purely illustrative and depend entirely on the whims of the market and professional authentication, they highlight the incredible potential hidden within American currency. Finding such a coin is like striking oil in your backyard. It is a life-altering event that validates the patience and dedication of the true hunter. To join the ranks of successful treasure hunters, you must approach your change with the precision of a forensic scientist. Always verify the weight using a digital scale. A standard clad quarter should weigh 5.67 grams, and any deviation could point toward a rare off-metal error. Use a high-powered loupe to inspect the P mint mark and the letters in E pluribus unum for any signs of doubling or distorted shapes. Look at the metal color under natural light to ensure there hasn't been any environmental damage, and check the strike alignment to see if the falcon is perfectly centered within the geographical outline of Idaho. If you believe you have found a masterpiece, professional authentication from a reputable service is the only way to turn your suspicion into a certified asset, protecting you from counterfeits and ensuring the true value of your find is recognized. As you look down at the coins in your jar tonight, remember that the 2007 P Idaho quarter is just one of many potential legends waiting to be told. The line between a common coin and a legendary treasure is thinner than a human hair, and most people will spend their entire lives passing over fortunes without a second thought. But you are different. You now know what to look for and the stakes involved in this high-reward game of observation. There are more secrets buried in the mintages of the 2000s, and the next coin we uncover will be even more shocking, featuring an error so blatant yet so rare that it redefined a decade of collecting. Keep your eyes sharp and your loupe ready, because the most valuable find of your life is likely sitting in your pocket right now, waiting for the light to hit it just right. The 2001 D North Carolina State quarter represents a pivotal moment in the United States Mint's journey, immortalizing the first flight of the Wright brothers on a canvas of copper and nickel. Released as the 12th coin in the historic series, this Denver-minted treasure captures the iconic 1903 flyer at Kitty Hawk, with Orville Wright at the controls and Wilbur running alongside. The design, titled First Flight, was selected to honor the state's monumental contribution to aviation history, and when you look closely at a high-quality strike, you can almost feel the coastal wind beneath the wooden wings. The Denver Mint, known for its consistent production, struck hundreds of millions of these quarters, yet finding one that remains in pristine, pack-fresh condition 25 years later is becoming an increasingly difficult challenge for serious numismatists. The minting context of 2001 was a time of massive transition and high-speed automated processes, which inherently created the perfect environment for mechanical slip-ups and rare anomalies. While the Denver facility aimed for perfection, the sheer velocity of the presses meant that occasionally, a planchet would be missed or a die would clash with violent force. The visual appearance of a standard North Carolina quarter should show the flyer in sharp relief against the horizon, but collectors are constantly hunting for those rare, satin finish, specimens or coins that exhibit an unusual proof-like, mirror depth in the fields. It is within these microscopic imperfections, the tiny fractures in the steel dies or the slight shifts in the striking pressure, that a common 25-cent piece transforms into a ghost of the minting process that shouldn't legally exist. As you begin to examine your collection, the intrigue builds when you realize that not all D mint marks are created equal. Some of the most sought-after errors on the North Carolina reverse involve double die variations, specifically visible in the struts of the right flyer or the letters of North Carolina. If you spot a faint ghosting of the date or the motto, you might be holding a coin that survived a botched hubbing process. There are also documented cases of die chips that appear like extra debris on the wings, adding a layer of rarity that sets a specific coin apart from the sea of billions. The tension rises when you consider that these coins have been circulating for decades, meaning a true condition census piece, one that has never touched another coin in a pocket or a vending machine, is a miracle of survival. The financial narrative of the 2001 D North Carolina quarter is a ladder of escalating excitement, where minor variations or small die cracks can see illustrative market values between $2,500 and $7,500. This is the kind of money that could cover an unexpected medical bill or a much-needed vacation, all from a coin found in a jar. As we move up to more notable examples, such as significant doubling or a major CUDS, error where part of the design is missing due to a broken die, the stakes rise to $9,000. These values are not just numbers, they represent the thrill of the hunt. For those lucky enough to find a high-grade specimen, perhaps an MS-68 or better, the potential value can hit $10,000, turning a handful of change into a serious financial asset that collectors would pay a premium to own. In the upper echelons of the storytelling ladder, we encounter the unusual mint anomalies that seem to defy the laws of the US Mint, with some examples reaching an illustrative $25,000. Imagine discovering a North Carolina quarter struck on a planchet intended for a nickel or a foreign coin, a sudden windfall that feels like winning the lottery. Rare collector pieces that have been verified to have unique pedigrees often command $12,000, while exceptionally preserved coins with vibrant tunning or rainbow hues can fetch $15,000 at specialized auctions. Each of these jumps represents an emotional connection to history, where a simple object becomes a vessel for a story, so rare it demands a seat at the highest tables of the hobby. The peak of this valuation mountain is reserved for the truly extraordinary finds that capture the collective imagination of the world, where prices can soar to an illustrative $65,000 for unusual finds with massive collector demand. Perhaps it's a mule error or a double-struck coin that escaped the Denver Mint against all odds. For the most historically significant or one-of-a-kind examples, we could be looking at a staggering $80,000. While these amounts are never guaranteed and fluctuate with the market, they represent the holy grail moments of coin roll hunting. Finding a coin of this magnitude is the equivalent of a down payment on a dream home or a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that changes your family's financial trajectory forever. To find these treasures, you must become a student of the metal, carefully checking the weight of your quarters on a precision scale to ensure they hit the standard 5.67 grams. Pay close attention to the metal color. Any strange yellowish tint or off-white luster could indicate an off-metal error. Study the strike alignment to see if the right flyer is perfectly centered, and use a loop to inspect the rim shape for any wire edges that suggest high-pressure striking. Letter doubling is often subtle, requiring you to look at the serifs of the font for any notched corners. Remember that professional authentication is the final essential step to prove that your discovery is a genuine mint error and not just post-mint damage, as a certified slab is the only way to lock in those life-changing values. The mystery of the North Carolina quarter is far from solved, and as you sift through your loose change tonight, the weight of history is literally in your hands. Most people will look at the right flyer and see only a 25-cent piece, but you now have the eyes to see the hidden fortune that might be masked by a few scratches or a bit of dirt. The hunt for the perfect 2001 Denver strike is a race against time as these coins continue to wear down in circulation, making the high-grade survivors more valuable by the day. But even as you search for the first flight, an even more shocking discovery is looming on the horizon. A coin from the following year with a secret so massive it could rewrite the history of the Philadelphia Mint.